What's up, guys? We're gonna grow beats. Today I'm gonna show you guys my top 5 violin KONTAKT libraries. If you guys haven't subbed already or turned post notice on, make sure you do so because it does help the channel out a lot. So let's hop right into it. So I'm gonna just explain how I'm gonna rate these. If something is rated low, that doesn't mean it's trash or it's not good. It's just the top 5, right? And these are out of the VSTs that I have. So I don't have all the best ones or the most expensive VSTs. So these are just out of the ones that I have, okay? So let's hop right into it. So basically, quality is going to be one of them, and quality would mean just the quality of the samples. How high quality are they or low quality, right? And then realism is just how realistic does it sound to a real person playing the instrument, right? And I think that's different from the quality of the samples, and I'll show you why later. And usability just how easy it is to use the VST, like the key switching, and is it easy to get to the settings and tweak things if you need to. And then the last one will be fun, right? And I think this one is important because, like, how inspired can you get from playing it, right? Like, does it give you that, like, when you get a new VST, like, you know, you just want to cook up a million beats because you're just super inspired? Like, does it give you that feeling when playing it? And I think that's important, especially if you're trying to make melodies and stuff. So that's gonna be it. So now let's just hop into number 5. All right, so at number 5 we have front row violins. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is actually play an example with a beat, or the live example in the beat, and I'm gonna play it solo so you can hear what it sounds like. So I'm gonna play with the beat first. So let me turn it on. All right, so that's with the beat, and then I'm gonna play it solo. Okay, so it's not bad, and for my quality, I'm gonna give it a 2 because it sounds a little bit dehydrated. Like, it needs some water, you know, like it's a little too dry, but it's not a bad, like, if you're just making a trap beat or something, it's not bad. And then the realism, I'm gonna give it a 3 because there's some parameters in here that you can mess around with and make it sound decent, but again, it's not right. If you put in a trap beat, nobody's gonna notice. So I'm just giving it a 3. Usability is a 4. It's pretty simple. Everything is, you know, simplified here. You don't really got to touch anything. Everything is here that you need. You know, you can mess with a few settings and whatever, right? And you got presets. So I think it's decent on usability. All right, and then fun, I'll put a 3. Just because the realism isn't too high, it doesn't make it as fun because you have to do a lot more work to get it to sound how you want it to. So yeah, that's number 5. Again, it's a decent VST. It's not gonna be as good as the ones we're gonna see next, but I think it's a decent one to start off with. So let's go on to number 4. So at number 4 we have session strings. So what I'm gonna do, just like last one, I'm gonna go ahead and play the beat with it, and then I'm gonna solo it so you can hear what it sounds like. All right. All right, so this thing sounds amazing, but for the quality, I'm gonna give it a 4. I would give it a 5, but I just feel like I've heard slightly better, okay, just from other stuff that I've heard and played with. But you can see here, and the basses in this thing sounds really nice too. All right, so that's just a 4 for the quality, maybe 4.5, but I'm just giving it a 4. So realism, I'm gonna give it a 3. You can't really do too much with, at least the version that I have. You can't do too much with kind of making it sound real on the fly. At least, now you can mess with these parameters and everything, kind of, right? But I'm not sure if you can actually automate these to like a key switch, which makes it kind of difficult to use. You can go in here to the rhythm animator and do some stuff. Right, so it's a great plugin, but it's just not for my workflow. It doesn't really fit too well. They also do have the smart chord thing, which I think is really nice. And that's why for the usability, I am going to give it a 4, because I do think everything is kind of clean. This is probably one of the best interfaces for a Kontakt library I've seen, because Kontakt libraries generally don't look too good, but this is pretty good. But this smart chord, I'll just play. You know, that sounds great, right? And that's kind of why I want to give it a 5 for quality too, but just because it's got a cool look feature, I'm not gonna give it a 5. But yeah, my usability is a 4. The fun meter, the fun factor, I'm gonna give it a 3, because for me, I need to get it, like when I'm making a beat or something, I need to get the idea out fast. You know, I need to be inspired fast. I'm not trying to tinker around. I'm not trying to tweak, you know, little settings just so it can sound good. I need to have my key switches or whatever, or I just need to sound good at right out the box. So this doesn't necessarily have that, but you can tweak it. And this is a great plugin, just not necessarily for me. All right, so that is number 4. So now we're gonna move on to number 3. In this, we getting into some real sauce on these, so pay attention to these top 3. All right, so at number 3, we have the McCobb Violin. Now, I'm not sure if that's how you actually pronounce it, but I did some research and apparently that's how you pronounce that word. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the example and then the solo of it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you why this is sauce. Okay, so real quick, quality. The quality I'm gonna put at a 3. Now, as you can hear, it's not the best. Okay, it's not like session strings, right? It's not really the best quality of the samples, but like I'm gonna show you right now, there's things in here. You can see how easy, like, just look at it, bro. You don't gotta touch anything. You just load it up. No key switches. You just play. You know what I mean? Do you hear, bro? And I'm gonna explain right now what I mean. And for the realism, real quick, I'm gonna give it a 4. Okay, it's not the most perfect realism, but it's way better than the other ones we just went through. Now, the reason is for this is because of legato. So with these violin plugins, what you want to look for is like how well the legato and all that stuff is, like transitioning from note to note, because it'll sound more realistic. Because if I turn the legato off, it'll just sound like a completely different plugin. It'll sound like something you dragged out of just like, I don't know, any old plugin. So I'm gonna turn legato off and show you what I mean. So here I'm gonna do like, all right, that sounds like super synthy, right? When you turn legato on, you do that same thing. You see how how different it is and how different it sounds, how much better it sounds. All right, and then real quick, my usability a 5, because you literally just load it up and you play. You know, you just turn it on. You can just, right? Like that's crazy to me that you can just do that. So for fun, a 4. It's not the best. It doesn't sound the most realistic, but like this is a great start. And I actually use this a lot. But yeah, man, that's it for this plugin. Those are the ratings for this one. But again, this is sauce. So we're gonna move on to number 2. Now these next 2 you want to pay attention to, and pay attention to who the companies that I'm getting these from, okay? Because it's man. All right, let's go to number 2. So at number 2 we have Hines Solo Violin. Now this is the exact plugin I was using in one of my last videos with people asking what VST is it, what Kontakt library is it. This is the exact one, and I'm gonna show you the preset if you don't remember, and it's called Trill Minor. All right, now this will sound terrible if you just play it normally. So I'll just play it to show you. See how terrible that sounds? So you have to tap it first when you play it. So something like this. And that's kind of how you have to play that preset, okay? So this is the VST for those who wanted to know. So let's go ahead and proceed. So the quality, well, actually, let me go ahead and play it regularly. This preset is called Dynamic Expression. I'll just play it. All right, so again, the quality will be a 3 for me. I think this is pretty similar to the McCobb Violin, except there's some things that it's doing that it's a lot better. So the quality is about the same. It's a 3. It's not like bad or it's not like super amazing. It's just like kind of, you know, it's like it gets by. It's not a problem. It is just there. All right. So the realism, I'm gonna give a 4. It doesn't sound like perfectly realistic, but you do have all these options and these key switches. All right, so I'll just play a few. All right, those are just a few to show you. And since you have these, and this ties into usability, which I'm gonna give a 5, because all of the key switches are on the left, which is easier to play on the MIDI, because you can, while you're playing the notes, you can switch your key switches easier. Now there's a lot of KONTAKT libraries, they kind of spread out their key switches, which is kind of hard to know which notes to press to switch the style of the instrument or whatever. So that's kind of annoying, but with this one they did great and they just put them all together. So that's why I give the usability a 5, and fun, obviously a 5. I really don't have to explain that, because I mean, come on, bro, you just like that's man, you can make some crazy melodies with that. So that's number 2. So now we're gonna go to number 1, the best plugin on my list. All right, so at number 1 we have the Simple Violin by Fluffy Audio. Now this company is the sauce. I will leave links in the description if you want to check out more of their plugins. So I'm gonna go ahead and do like I've been doing. I'm gonna just play a little sample of it. Okay, so right out the gate, my quality for this is a 5. It may not actually, I don't listen to violins all day. I'm not really even sure how a real violin is supposed to sound in a real life setting. But from what I think it's supposed to sound like when I heard in songs and stuff, this sounds amazing, okay? This sounds exactly how I think it's supposed to sound, okay? Now, the realism is a 5. Because I don't know if this is I don't know if it's on purpose, if they meant to do this, but for some reason, it doesn't let me go outside the boundaries of what a real violin can do. So if I try to like switch a note real fast, it won't sound synthy. It'll sound like it won't sound good, but it'll sound like it'll have a good transition to that note, right? So like I'll play like, you see what I'm saying? And then like the low, you can see how it switches to the low note, but it's not like, it doesn't sound good. I don't think that sounds good personally, but it's not like a synthy. It doesn't sound synthy. It sounds like somebody just playing a violin. They don't know what they're doing. That's what it sounds like, but it sounds realistic to me. And I like they did that. And if you didn't notice, it was actually choosing the velocities itself. I have a fixed velocity, which means, if you don't know, it's the same. Like, so even if I tap it, now you can't even see my velocity, but if I tap it soft or hard, it's gonna be at 100 at all times. So it's actually choosing the velocity, or like the best velocity to be played. You can see it kind of stretches up, you know, pushes up, ramps up the volume as time goes on. So for the usability of 3, this plugin, it's not really that nice looking, but you know, they got a lot of stuff in here you can mess with. I don't really mess with all that. I probably should. See what they got in here. But yeah, man, this plugin is something special. So lastly, the fun is a 5. That's a given because it's so fun to play. Come on, bro. Don't even, man. And the best thing about this company and this plugin is that this thing only costs $49. This thing costs less than a video game, bro. A KONTAKT library. And mind you, that means that this right here, this is the cheapest plugin on this list. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This is the absolute cheapest on this list. Probably the cheapest KONTAKT library that I have, besides the free ones. So, man, fluffyaudio.com. Go check that out. Check whoever out in here. But I'm telling you, bro, Fluffy Audio, they got the sauce. Okay, just being real with you. But yeah, man, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you saw something you liked. If you didn't see anything you like, maybe you don't like violins, check out some of these. I'm gonna leave all links in the description. But you can check out these companies. They got a lot of plugins that you might want, a lot of realistic stuff. And yeah, man, that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully this was helpful. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.